السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله، فإنه حبل متين وعروة وثقى. صلوات. صل على محمد وآل محمد. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, first of all I advise myself for taqwa, parhezgari and piety, and then I advise all of you for the same. We are in the last few days of this month of Rabiul Awwal. We spent first almost 2 months, Muharram and Safar, in the memories of Imam Hussain alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, from the first of Muharram until the Arba'een day, the 20th of Safar. Those are the mourning days of Shuhadai Karbala. And then again a few more days, the Shahadat of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, Wafat, the death and the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, Shahadat of our 8th Imam, and then Shahadat of our 11th Imam. So we had a few occasions even after those days of mourning of Imam Hussain. And we spent almost 68 days in looking at the life, the legacy, the teachings, the messages, and the seerah and sunnah of our Prophet and our Imams. And we all know that the main purpose of doing all that was to learn some lessons for ourselves. Our Prophet didn't need any admiration from us, and our Imams also don't need any of our sympathy or our admiration or our gathering and talking about them. They are actually our role models, they are our inspirations. And when we gather to talk about them, the main purpose is to learn something from their lives, from their examples. So whenever we come in the majalis, we come into those gatherings, we should come with that particular motive that I am going there to listen. A speech, a lecture, a presentation about the life of my Prophet or life of my Imams, and I will be very much looking to pick something, take something, learn something from that presentation, from that speech, and then I will do my best to come and share with my family, with my friends, and then also, and I will put that in my practice. So that should be the main motive, and that should be the main reason. About our Prophet, we all believe, this is our faith, this is our belief, and this is basically because of number of ayat in Quran and hadith by Prophet himself. And one of those ayat in Quran is لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. That for you in the life of the Messenger of Allah is a best model and example. So for you to live your life and conduct your life, and that helps a lot for human being. We human beings, it becomes easier for us to do something if we have a model in front of us, if we have an example in front of us, then it becomes easier for us to learn and to practice. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have sent the messenger of mine. He lives among you on daily basis, and he doesn't live a kind of a very private life, or where he spends most of the time in cave or in privacy or in any private circle. He goes to take care of his family and spend some time at home to take rest, but that is very little time. That is very little time, and most of the time of my Prophet is among the people in the public. So he is a public figure, and his each and every action is approved by me, and his each and every word and each and every action, I have approved it, and he is a role model. So look at him and then follow him. So that is the life of Prophet. Month of Rabiul Awwal is a month in which we spent a great deal of time to talk about Prophet, to look at the life of Prophet, to read the hadith of Prophet, to read the seerah of Prophet, the history of Prophet, the life and biography of Prophet, so that we learn as much as we can. With that spirit, keeping the khutbah very brief, I am sharing with you one amal, one action, one practice of Prophet, which he was used to practice all along in his life, and he was known for that. A very useful practice, very noble practice, something very simple to do, but again we need to have that kind of first mindset that we are always trying to imitate and to follow the life of Prophet. The riwayat says, Dakhala rajulun al-masjid. A man entered in masjid. Wa huwa, and this huwa pronoun is referring to the Prophet. Wa huwa, yani wa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam jalisun wahdahu, and the Prophet was sitting in masjid alone. So there were times when people would be around the Prophet, when it is time of salat, when it is a time when everyone comes to the masjid. But then masjid was just next to the house of Prophet. Basically, Prophet's house was next to the masjid. So the masjid, Prophet built masjid first, and then he built his house next to the masjid. And Prophet would sometime come in the masjid to do his nawafil prayers, or he would go early in the masjid for the wajib prayer and then wait until the people would come in, or for variety of reasons. But in this instance, what we are discussing, that when someone entered in the masjid, he saw Prophet sitting alone. Dakhala rajulun al-masjid wa huwa jalisun wahdahu. Prophet was sitting alone. Fatazahzaha lahu. So Prophet, when saw somebody coming to him in the masjid, so Prophet moved a little bit back from his place where he was sitting. Prophet moved a little bit from the place where he was sitting. So when he moved from his place, فَقَالَ الرَّجُلُ فِي الْمَكَانِ سَاعَةٌ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Ya Rasulullah, there is a plenty of room, there is a plenty of place here in the masjid, and you don't need to move from your place. There is plenty of room. فَقَالَ Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, إِنَّ حَقَّ الْمُسْلِمِ عَلَى الْمُسْلِمِ إِذَا رَآهُ يُرِيدُ الْجُلُوسَ إِلَيْهِ أَن يَتَزَحْزَحَ لَهُ. Prophet says, yes, I know there is a plenty of room, but this is a right of a Muslim upon other Muslim, that when the sitting Muslim sees that another Muslim is now coming, entering and approaching and wants to sit next to him, so he should move a little bit on right or left or behind as a gesture of welcoming this new brother who is coming in and who is going to sit with him. So this is your right. So you know that this is a very courteous kind of thing, that which Prophet is referring to it. We are sitting and we see somebody coming in, and as we are fixed in the ground, and we will not like to show any that courtesy, just as a gesture of welcoming this brother who is coming in, to move a little bit to give him this sense that we notice you are coming and you are welcome, and please come here and sit next to me, or please sit here. So that is something which is a Prophet's courtesy. Prophet was used to welcome every individual who was coming in his company, and he would greet them or give the answer of their greeting, and he would ask them that if this gentleman was not there for some time, meaning we have not seen you for a while, we have missed you for a few days, so what was going on, where you have been. So everyone would feel that they are welcomed, they are noticed, people look for them, people would like to meet them, and when they are not around, people miss them. So this was the courtesy of Prophet. You know, the Prophet was the most courteous human being, and he would show that courtesy at every moment, at every situation, wherever he would get chance. And this is just as we are saying, Prophet is sitting alone in masjid. Nobody is around. And an individual enters in the masjid and he is coming toward Prophet, and of course he wants to sit in front of Prophet or on his one of his sides, on his right side or left side, and instead of being as normally leaders are, or people that who are very much kind of self-conscious kind of individuals, so just fixed in the ground, feeling I am the center of the universe and I need to just sit as I am sitting, and if somebody is coming to me and if somebody is coming to sit in front of me or on my right or left, then he should bow himself, he should do everything, I don't have to do anything. And that's what unfortunately we see in our own communities, in our own fellow brothers and sisters. It's a very common thing. They think that if they will move a little bit on right or left, or if they would just show some smile on the face, or if they would just kind of try to give any gesture of welcome to this brother, so maybe then this is something too much for them. While reality is that this was the way of our Prophet, this was the way of the Messenger of Allah, that he would welcome every individual coming in the gathering, and even he would show this courtesy of moving a little bit back or a little bit right or left to create some room. We saw first time in our life when I went for my higher studies in Iran. We never had this custom in Pakistan. Pakistan, everybody he himself is too important. So we always feel that I am the center of the universe, and always sit as I'm fixed in the ground, cannot move right or left. There is a plenty of room, you go and sit wherever you want to sit. That is the attitude. But when we went in Iran, we saw that this was a very common courtesy, that you enter in a gathering and ulama are sitting, and these were highly learned scholars. Even if you go to sometimes see the marja taqleed, this grand marja, and he is sitting there, and anybody enters in the office or in the gathering, and people with a little bit, they will kind of rise from their place, and then person would say that please keep sitting, you don't have to stand up for me. But they would show that gesture that you are noticed, you are welcomed, and I am here to give you this respect. So the old people in their 60s and 70s and sitting on ground and rising up for each and every individual who is coming in, but this was their practice. And this was so common that, of course, we also start learning, and we learned it from them, and we practiced it for a long time. But again, society has its impact. So when you move to a society where nobody cares about anyone's and everybody is the more important person, and then people are sitting on chairs, so it becomes a little difficult. But even while we are sitting on the chairs, we can show that gesture, that when a new person enters in the gathering, that's for many people are not that social. First of all, entering in a gathering for a person who is not very social itself is a very big task. Person is nervous, person doesn't know how to enter in the gathering and how people will respond and how they will react, and he is very much observant at that time of their body language, how they look at him, whether they look at him, whether they don't look at him, and if they have smile, so it is a sarcastic smile, or if it is a true smile, and meaning how people are going to react and what kind of welcome this person gets. Some people are very vulnerable, very weak. Just this one little cold shoulder or this cold kind of behavior, which is maybe okay for me or for you or for somebody, can ruin the mood or the day of that person. That I entered in a gathering and there were these people sitting and they even didn't look at me. They even didn't had any courtesy to welcome me. Or somebody even didn't look at me or didn't pay any attention to me. So, all of us are not at the same level. Some of us are very strong. We have very strong nerves. We can take that. And some of us are very weak, very vulnerable, and every day we need so many boosters when we walk around, when we talk with people. So we need so many people to keep making our day and keep giving us a little bit, that we can have one day. And there are many. In this day and age, people are suffering. And they have so many sufferings. And the greatest suffering is that they were not raised with love. Parents were not around. Children raised without parents. Children raised without father. Children raised without mother. Or children raised in a home where father and mother was always fighting. And there was a very toxic kind of environment, and it was the whole day children were going through that very bad experience. Then many children had issues growing up. When they went in school, they were bullied, and they had so many other issues. They were deprived of attention by their own classmates, by their friends. They didn't get those opportunities which some of their other friends they got. So people have so much what they are carrying with them. And so don't think that everybody is like you or everybody is at that level. So this is why our gatherings are supposed to be the gatherings which are welcoming, inviting, very much open for people to enter and enjoy and find acceptance. And so this is what the Prophet was used to do. Prophet would remember each and every detail of their life. Unfortunately, we don't discuss many of those kind of stories and those kind of things. Prophet saw a companion, noticed a little different fragrance which he was wearing. And Prophet noticed it was different. So Prophet says, so what about this fragrance which you are wearing? And I notice a little different outfit or some color on your hands, henna or something like that. And the man said, Ya Rasulullah, I just got married a few days ago. And so this is why I had that henna and I had this kind of fragrance and I was away for a few days. So Prophet asked him, a man that who is head of state, a man that who is head of this entire community, but he is so much in the life of these people around him and cares about them and wants to know and wants to participate and wants to. A Prophet didn't make this complaint that, oh, you got married and you didn't invite me, or I was not invited in your walima. And by the way, this was not the custom at that time, that everyone in their wedding had to invite the Prophet. This walima or this marriage, it was not that a big deal in that society as it is that big deal in Indian culture, or then now in Western culture also, or in some other cultures. It was just a routine thing. Anytime anyone can, one family can arrange and they could get married with few people of their own family. Nobody would even know that what's going on. And so it was custom, it was common. The only culture which has a name for the wedding as shadi is the Indian culture. Otherwise it is nikah, or it is ziwaj, or it is marriage, or it is wedding. But shadi, you know, the meaning of shadi is happiness, party. So that party culture, that comes in our culture, that it is shadi and ghami. But otherwise it was nikah, it was ziwaj. Few people within family would just sit and do the nikah and rukhsati, and marriage would take place. But the point was that Prophet was very observant, would observe, and then he was very courteous. And we just learned about this courtesy. Most courteous man, I would say, in the humanity was the Prophet. Innaka la'ala khuluqin azim. A very polite man, a very accommodating man, a very flexible man. Again, every aspect of life. Quran speaks about it, Hadith speaks about it, history speaks about it, and we all will talk about it, but when it will come to implement in our own lives, we will say, oh, no, that is too difficult. It's only Rasulullah could do it. Then what's the purpose of talking about it? So, we spent the whole month talking about the Prophet and his life and his example. So the purpose was that we will learn, that we will also be flexible people. Every matter is not the matter of haqq and batil. Every argument is not the argument of falsehood and the the opposite of falsehood, the truth. Every argument is not worth of even having a argument or fight. Never be perfectionist. Prophet was not perfectionist. So this perfectionism and then this issue of not being flexible, that is again creates the problem. So Prophet was extremely flexible, negotiable, someone who was open to take the input and implement it. And sometime it didn't go well. Again, this is not the whole long lecture on the seerah. Otherwise, I would explain that Prophet had his own opinion. He consulted his companions, and companions gave opinion which was different than his own opinion. And when he saw this is a consensus and everybody wants to go that way, and everyone is saying, let's do that, so Prophet went with them. And this was the Battle of Badr. And then, or I believe Battle of Uhud. And then what happened? Muslims got a big hit. So much casualties, so much bloodshed. And it was a very bad experience for Muslims. So if it was any of us, I would say, see, I had said so, you didn't listen to me, and I told you, but you never listened to me, and now you see. Prophet was that courteous man and that polite man that he never brought even once on his tongue. Never wanted to embarrass anyone. He never wanted to suppress them. People said, Ya Rasulullah, you were right. If we would listen to you and we would go with your opinion, we wouldn't have all this problem. But Prophet would keep quiet. That's okay, meaning these are the things. These things do happen. So, very flexible man. You could go and negotiate with him. You can give your input. And some of his those people that who had problem with him with this behavior, those very strong personalities, they would call him ozone. That he is someone who gets influenced by people, and here he listens. Anybody can go and talk to him and he believes that. He is very simple. He just believes on the face value. But this is how Prophet was. So the point is, my brothers and sisters, there is a lot which we can learn from the life of our Prophet and implement. And that is now our duty. Month of Rabiul Awwal is almost gone. What did we learn from the life of our Prophet? And now how we are going to implement in our own life, and how we are going to check and review our progress every month, every other month, every quarter, that yes, this is something new. I was not used to be like that, but now I am doing it because I heard my Prophet was used to do this, so this was the way of my Prophet. This was the style of my Prophet. This was the sunnah of my Prophet. This was the way of my Prophet. And I'm doing. If every year we can keep growing and keep accommodating those lifestyles of our Prophet in our own life, I think, my brothers and sisters, within few years we can really grow to a very high level of courtesy and the morality and a best lifestyle which we can have. Recite a salawat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحليم الكريم غافر الذنب وقابل التوب وهو الغفور الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. In this second khutbah, again, I advise myself for taqwa, for his gari and piety. And then I advise all of you for the same. We don't have much time in hand, but there are some issues which are time sensitive and important. I'm sure you have heard in news that yesterday a resolution was put on the table by 10 countries of those which are members of Security Council. Security Council altogether has 15 members. 10 members are non-permanent members and 5 are permanent members. And a resolution was tabled for ceasefire in Gaza, that the war should be brought to stop, and this genocide which is going on in Palestine should be stopped. We are very disappointed, and matter of fact the whole world was extremely disappointed that out of 15 members, while 14 members had agreed and had given the vote to the resolution, only one country in the world vetoed it. And guess which country? We are ashamed and disappointed to be in the country which is going just single-handedly for the bloodshed, for this genocide. Meaning even their allies, the UK, France, and then China, Russia, and all the other members, everyone was positive, and only one country vetoed it. And this was almost the 10th time that they killed the resolution for a good cause with veto. So, just wanted to express our disappointment that I don't know when the leadership in this country will realize that we have remained alone and isolated in this whole world. We think because we are powerful and we don't care about anyone, we don't care about anything, but sooner or later we will pay a price for it. And it's not a constructive behavior, it's not a behavior which can be justified. The second thing, my brothers and sisters, you may have heard there are very severe floods in Pakistan. A few years back, if you remember, there were some floods, and we were saying at that time those were the worst floods in the history of Pakistan. But these recent floods have broken even the records of the previous floods. These are the worst floods in the history of Pakistan, have wiped out the villages, thousands of villages and small cities, and it's a big destruction. So people around the world are helping and showing their gesture of caring. Our young children at Unity Academy and Quran Academy and the Sunday School are doing some small and symbolic fundraising. These children are being taught that they need to care and they need to be sensitive to the hardships of others. And if something happens, whether locally here where we live, which is our own land, our own country, our own community, or anywhere in the world, in these disasters, in these calamities, they have a human duty and they should try to do whatever they can. So they are raising some funds. I just brought it to your attention. If your children are coming in Quran Academy, so you can encourage them and help them. If they are coming in Unity Academy, you can help them there. If they are coming to Sunday School, you can help them there. We are not looking for any big funds. This is a symbolic fundraising, and just help them, encourage them, and make them involved with this good cause. Recite a salawat. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى أمير المؤمنين وإمام المتقين علي بن أبي طالب وعلى سيدة نساء العالمين فاطمة الزهراء وعلى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة على علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. اللهم صل على مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان وعلى آبائه الكرام ما اتصل الليالي والأيام. أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون.